guys, Gail Sylvester here. Today I have the pleasure of Brook Dyson from Edward Jones with us, and we are going to talk about how we're going to start our kids saving money and what they can expect going forward. Especially, we've been doing a bit of a series for the kids, what they can expect in terms of credit and budgeting and what they need to know about money. And so I thought perfect opportunities to have Brook come and talk to us as well and help us guide whether it's teens with their first job or it's the kids that are going away to post-secondary, or maybe they've even finished post-secondary and then getting out into the workforce. It's like, what do they need to know about saving money? So what would you recommend?
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of different ways. Thanks for having me doing this. There's lots of different ways to think about that. I mean, you could start, I've got young kids, so kind of starts with the tooth fairy sometimes, right? So when that big windfall from losing a tooth makes its way under their pillow, have that conversation with the kids about, what is this? What is this, chunk of metal or paper or whatever you
Right. Depends what they give, right? I don't even know what it is.
Right. And whatever the tooth fairy brings, and talk about what it is and what that means and what it can be used for. And a lot of the times that's, for my kids, it's a candy or a freezy or something from the store. And you sort of connect this money to something else. So then you get into the conversation of, if you have more than one of these coins, then you can buy something bigger, but you have to wait to do it till you have enough coins. So stuff like that, and having a little piggy bank, and maybe going through what everything's worth and what it means, and what does a burger at McDonald's cost, type thing, just to give some perspective. So the kids start learning the value of money when they're older, and you're saving for,
Awesome.
A lot of teenagers might be saving for a car. A lot of times you see that the sort of first car that's, that beater that they can just afford it. Really putting some sort of goal in front of your children. And really this is for all types of saving, for retirement and houses and whatnot too, but putting like a tangible goal in front of your child, and just saying, this is, if we do X, we can get this car or this trip or this game or something down the road, but here are the steps that you need to do. And you got to earn some money. So, you sort of work backwards from there. And that gives the kids some perspective on the value of money, really, and time to save.
Absolutely. Now, would you just recommend just putting it into just a standard savings account while they're young?
Yeah, it depends. It depends on you as a parent. It depends on the child. It depends on, the act of saving is the biggest thing, right? So putting that money somewhere else besides their pocket that they can get at it is the biggest deal. And then you can get into the details of, tweaking what, if it's invested or if it's cash or if it's, whatever.
Right.
That would depend more on sort of your time horizon and the risk that you and your child are comfortable with as well.
That's perfect. And one of the things I started with my kids, I think I've talked to you about that, is the oldest one is when she started her first job. It's like I gave them the first few paychecks to let them do whatever they want. But then once September came, it was let's open up a savings account, and then half their pay goes into savings. Because I'm like, they don't have the expenses while they're living at home and while they're younger. So it's like, instead of blowing it on stuff, it's like, they've been able to save. And it's been pretty cool to watch, because she gets to see it grow too, right? Because every payday it goes into the account. And it's awesome.
That concept applies to adults too, right? Whenever you get paid, so the second Thursday, every second Thursday, if you're a teenager, if you're an adult, set up an automatic savings plan to take out, X amount from the bank account that morning. And so you never have access to that extra money, and you'll, your child or you will figure out quite quickly how to adapt to that, and not have that extra, maybe you don't buy that $6 Starbucks drink, you buy, $3
or the dollars summer savings at McDonald's or whatever, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I totally got
like that. And that in itself is a great lesson and a skill to learn. But setting up the automatic savings, if your child's just started, maybe they're bussing tables at a restaurant in town, put it to the side, and then you can talk to them about, okay, if you do this for this long, it's going to turn into this amount of money. Or if it really is for long term, then you can start looking at, investing it into something else that's not just cash for the long term.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And that's one of the things we've talked about is now that she's got a nice amount saved, it's like, you know what, don't just leave it sitting there because you don't need, keep what you need, but then to have a conversation with you, right? So how she can see that grow, and it's going to help her when she's done school.
And I mean, if you're talking real dollars too, I mean, a lot of younger folks don't have a concept of what's the difference between, you know, say there's, you know, $800 in there or like 5,000, depending on their job or business that they're running on their own. And, you know, if you can show them like, listen, we'll take a chunk of this and invest it, you'll still have your cash there if you need it for your car or whatever. But that's a way to start talking to them about, you know, growing money beyond working for it, having the money grow as well as earn it.
Fantastic. Which is probably beyond their scope of knowledge today, right? Yeah, because it's not that it's taught in school either.
You know what? They don't teach it in school. Well, they're starting to now, but might as well learn. Like that's if they've got the means to do it, you might as well learn that, you know, keeping cash in the bank is good for the bank because they're loaning it out.
Absolutely.
You know, the upside is that it's there and you don't have to worry about it, but it's, you know, the downside is, you know, that burger we talked about, or that mocha latte is just going up and up and up these days too. Everything's costing more, right? So
absolutely. So I think it's wise that if clients are there or they just want to learn more, it's, you know, reach out to likes of yourself and actually have those conversations, because you and I have talked for years. It's like it's you speak that I understand it kind of thing. So, and I know you do the same with the kids. So so which
even
is awesome.
Like kids, like my kids, they know how to use YouTube and search, and, you know, just get that sort of, let them search out like, what does, you know, how do I save money, or, you know, very basic concepts. You can use Google and YouTube, and you're going to find those concepts out, and then it's just acting on that theoretical for the kids and showing them real tangible benefits from their actions. Absolutely. Because not always, and we always know, kids don't always hear what we're saying as parents. So by hearing, I know, right? So, you know, so at least this way, where they hear something from the outside, but saying the same message, it's awesome. Like their favorite YouTuber is probably their voice carries more weight than yours does. So
you got it. Yeah, that's perfect. I think. But if anyone has any questions, I know they can always reach out to you. What's your local number actually? If somebody wanted to call you.
Yeah. Well, we have the main line is 905. 905-319-1522, or you can just search us online, Brook, Brook Dyson, Dyson, Edward Jones. You'll find all of our contact info.
You'll find us. That's fantastic.
Socials and whatnot. Yeah.
Awesome. That is great. Thank you for shedding some light and helping kids understand the value of money and how to save.
Great. Thanks, Gail.
All righty. I appreciate it. Thanks, Brooke. We'll talk soon.